The new Mclaren Artura has one of the coolest features ever. Hop inside, turn off traction control, and look at this. Artura has a drift mode that regulates the slip angle. This way you can build yourself up to a level 15 drift. Everybody is wrong about the Artura, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly why. We're going to be going over some hidden Easter eggs on the exterior, some cool features of the interior, of course the engine specs, launch it to 60 miles an hour, and rip it through the canyon. The Spider isn't just the coupe with the roof cut off. In fact, it's pretty much an overhaul of the entire vehicle. At the heart of the Artura Spider is a 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6 with an E-motor making 691 horsepower and 531 pound-feet of torque. That's up 20 more from the coupe. 0 to 60 happens in under 3 seconds and a top speed of 205 miles an hour, the same as the 765 LT. The Artura uses an 8-speed DCT with pre-fill technology to allow shifts to happen 25% faster than before. Now, it uses 8 gears in a very fascinating way. Instead of having a 7-speed DCT with an extra gear, the 8th one, for reverse, because this is a hybrid, Mclaren uses the E-motor for reverse, allowing it to have 8 forward speeds. Pretty cool. Mclaren is giving away free tunes. Yes, you heard that correctly. In one of the most generous moves I've ever seen by an auto manufacturer, if you have a 2024 Artura Coupe and you're a bit bummed that this has 20 horsepower more, you can take your coupe to the dealer and they will flash it for free and give you the power upgrade. The Artura Spider's top operates exceptionally fast and uses 8 motors to get the operation done. In fact, it closes in just 11 seconds and can do it at speeds up to 31 miles an hour. There's also an optional electrochromic glass roof. You click a button and all of a sudden the opacity changes, blocking out 99% of sunlight. Despite all these cool features, it's 189 pounds lighter than its nearest rival. The looks of the Artura have grown on me immensely since its initial release. It's sharp, it's modern, and I love the fact that the headlights look like the Mclaren logo. But you have to look really closely to notice some of the coolest parts about the car. For instance, if we close this door here, you'll notice on the top of the windshield, there's these little gurney flaps that make sure it's quieter in the cabin when the roof is off. The Artura Spider has see-through flying buttresses, which not only aid in downforce because they're see-through, you can actually have better over-the-shoulder visibility. But there's more to the buttresses than meets the eye. There's a little vent inside the buttress itself, which channels air this way and out of this vent. At the heart of the Artura is the powertrain chimney. This helps extract hot air out of the engine bay. Now, hot air is not good for aerodynamics and it's not good for the engine. So Mclaren has come up with a solution. We've got cool air coming through the flying buttresses and out this channel here. So there's cool air on top of the hot air to help push it this way. We've also got cool air coming through here and out this vent. So we've got cool air, and it helps extract it away from the engine and away from the rear diffuser and back of the car, causing turbulent airflow. All right, to turn on the Artura Spider, we've got this McLaren orange start-stop button, foot on the brake, and it'll go ahead and start up in full EV mode, which is pretty cool. You can drive this for 21 miles at speeds of up to 81 miles an hour without the engine kicking on. But if you do want the engine to kick on, we've got these controllers here for the powertrain on the right and the handling on the left. Right now the powertrain's set to electric. If we go over to comfort, we can go to sport and track. We're gonna put it into track. It also changes the instrument cluster to a horizontal layout that looks really, really cool. 8-speed DCT transmission. The steering wheel is super thin, super basic, exactly the way I like it. Mclaren makes some of the best steering wheels, if not the best steering wheel on the market. Now we've got this new setup like the McLaren 750S, this binnacle that moves as one. So we've got this controller down here that raises the steering wheel and the instrument cluster as one unit. That way the steering wheel doesn't block any of the gauges, which is a pretty cool idea because oftentimes when you pull the steering wheel down, you can't see the tachometer whatsoever. We have an upgraded 12-speaker Bowers & Wilkins system. That's fantastic. We've got speakers right behind me. Oftentimes in convertibles, you can't hear that well. Not the case in the Artura Spider. We also have ambient lighting, which I think is awesome, and it's hidden. So right here, this metallic trim actually has ambient lighting built in, but you can't see it until you turn it on, and all of a sudden, it comes out of thin air, which which I think is so cool. You can choose whether you just want it in the footwell or on the doors or just the door. You can adjust the brightness as well as a multitude of color options as well, which I think is awesome. Now we've also got a very cool backup camera system. So the reverse, the backup camera is right here in the instrument cluster, but right here, you've got multiple views you can choose from. A lot of times with supercars, you don't want to mess up your front bumper, well, all the time, but you don't have a camera. This has a frontal camera so you can see what's exactly in front of your McLaren. If we go back, it even has a side view camera so you can make sure that you don't curb your wheels. I absolutely love that. All right, let's take it for a spin. Well, look at this. I'm driving a McLaren in full electric mode. Last time I did this, I was driving a McLaren P1. The fact that it can go 81 miles an hour in full electric mode is pretty impressive. The acceleration is definitely nothing to write home about, but if you want to escape your neighborhood, you don't want to wake up your neighbors, or you just want to commute around town without making any noise, it's actually pretty cool. Well, let's go ahead and put it in track mode and do a launch control, shall we? Launch control is super easy. Just click the ESC off button, go ahead and floor the brake, floor the gas, L pops up on the dash, and off we go. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. This thing absolutely rips. But it's the acceleration after 60 that's really intense. It feels 720S levels almost of speed. Now, let's talk about the sound. A lot of people were like, really? You've got a 6-cylinder in a McLaren? But I want to talk about that because it actually sounds really good. No one complains that Porsche has a 6-cylinder in a GT3 RS. But for some reason, when McLaren switches from an 8-cylinder to a 6-cylinder, people say, oh, it's not really a McLaren anymore. But I actually don't think that could be further from the truth. This character of the engine feels very McLaren, and it actually sounds really, really good. The induction noise is phenomenal. And if we go ahead and click my favorite button, we'll go ahead and lower that rear window there. You can still keep the top up, and you get absolutely insane exhaust noise. It reminds me of somewhere between a Maserati MC20 and a GT3 RS. And I actually really like it. But how does it handle? Unbelievably well. The dichotomy between this car in comfort mode and track mode is really, really impressive. You could drive this every single day in comfort mode. It honestly is so relaxing, so easy to drive, and if you have the window up and you have the exhaust valves closed, it's actually really quiet. But then, when you flick it over into track mode, the suspension's super firm, the powertrain is unbelievably responsive, and I think they did a good job of pretty much making it feel like it's just an internal combustion engine car. The pedal feel is really impressive for a hybrid as well. They don't have any regen braking in the pedal itself. That's done through the electric motors, which makes it feel a lot more natural behind the wheel. But man, the pops and cracks this thing makes. And it gives you so much confidence. What's really impressive is, despite it being a hybrid and a convertible, at 3,400 pounds, it's actually really light. I mean, we've got hybrids on the market now that are way over 4,000 pounds. The power to weight ratio on this is really impressive. Whew. I am really, really impressed. All right, let's go ahead and put it into comfort mode, and then let's raise this. I mean, now it's like you're driving a Tesla. There's absolutely no noise. Even with the internal combustion engine on, there's no noise. But speaking about the electric motor, actually, let's flick it back into full electric mode. It makes a really cool sound. I don't know if this is gonna come across on camera, but it sounds like a really expensive electric go-kart. They basically didn't limit the sound of the electric motor, so you can actually hear them, and it's got this really cool mechanical whir. Maybe if we drop this. Oh yeah, there you go. It sounds like the rally cars, the Excite rally cars. I think that's so cool. But where this car really shines compared to its competitors is the steering feel and the engagement. It's not as engaging as something like a 765, but significantly more so than the previous Artura and pretty much every single one of its rivals. We still have electro-hydraulic steering. So what that means is the power assistance comes from hydraulic pressure, but the pump is operated by an electric motor. So we still have that awesome mechanical feel. We've also got new engine mounts for this car that are more rigid, so you feel the powertrain significantly more in your body than the previous car. And I think that's so important. McLarens are about the feel, the drama, the excitement. Every car is getting super fast, but not every car can have brilliant steering feel and feel really, really exciting and put a smile on your face. All right, one last little canyon mob here. I mean, it's so planted. The balance is really impressive. If you leave traction all the way on, you can pretty much go as fast as you want around turns, and the computers will limit you from killing yourself. But I have it in dynamic mode, which makes it feel a little bit more balanced. You don't have any understeer when you push too fast into the corner. You can kind of throttle out of it. This thing's an absolute riot. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.